2001. That time he was working with Kirloskar company, but His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj requested him to join full-time service, and Maitreya Rishi Prabhu helped Bhakti Charu Maharaj set up a audio-visual studio near Juhu temple, and there for 5 years he helped Bhakti Charu Maharaj make DVDs of the Abhay Charan television serial. And after that he was teaching MBA students in NL Dalmia Institute of Management. Now recently he has retired after being a professor in marketing for 12 years. So now we request Maitreya Rishi Prabhu to kindly speak. After Maitreya Rishi Prabhu, Manu Prabhu and Nitya Kishori Radhika Mataji will speak.
नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण विष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश कारिणे नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति चारु स्वामी इति नामिने स्निग्ध चेतो सुप्रो नेतव बाघीनां चा रसप्लुतां प्रभुपाद गतो प्राण नामी भक्ति चारु पदम। नहीं तो Hare Krishna. My name is Maitreya Rishi Das, and I have been introduced very kindly by Baldev Prabhu. I stand here with a heavy heart to speak about my spiritual master, H.H Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. I had the good fortune of knowing Maharaj during my stay in Pune. I was a neophyte at that time and asked him a lot of questions. Maharaj patiently answered all the questions that I asked him. After this, there was no looking back for me and my family. And we also always looked up at Guru Maharaj for his instructions and tried to follow them to the best of our ability. Maharaj at this time was intent in making Abhay Charan the life of Srila Prabhupada. This was the DVD that Baldev Prabhu just mentioned. It is at this time that I was fortunate to get his close association. He built a studio and put me in charge of that studio. They were the hectic days. I was no sound engineer ever, but had to handle an audio-visual studio. It was very, very challenging for me. The problem was I had to study how a studio functions, and I had no knowledge of this. Now, to little give me consolations, Maharaj already hired a studio expert and his team to come to Bombay and finish the complete studio in 4 months. The team came to Bombay works day and night and finished the studio in 3.5 months. They stayed at the studio for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Vegetables were provided. They used to cook it themselves. During this time, I had to stay in the Radha Rashbihari temple at Juhu and follow their regulations. The studio was completed in due time, and after this, I shifted to Adarsh Nagar to be close to the studio. I would like to point out some very, very important aspects of the starting the Bhumi Puja at Ujjain temple. During Bhumi Puja ceremony, there were two different functions happening at the same time. Number one, the Bhumi Pujan ceremony, first of all, which is the most important one, an Ashtadhatu idol of Narasimha Dev was placed under the earth. The dug up earth was again put back to cover the idol. This is how we started. At the same time, there was yagna going on by priests to protect the temple from evil. Prayers were offered by several devotees. Now coming to the second part of the Bhumi Pujan day, Maharaj has told us that several thousands of guests would come on that day from different parts, not only of the country, but also from outside the country. Vegetable cutting, etc., was done throughout the night with the help of all other devotees. Cooking started in the morning. Some of you may know Malini Mataji and my wife with several other cooks started cooking in the morning. I still remember Malini Mataji was cooking a very tedious but delicious dish for the thousands of people who came. The most interesting point at this time was that Maharaj had come to the kitchen to overlook all the activities that was going on. My wife could not sit on the floor because of a disease she had, and she was sitting on a chair. Maharaj inquired about her health and asked her to continue sitting on the chair and do all the services. While I just missed one point, while the temple was, while the studio was being set up, I used to stay in the Radha Rashbihari Juhu temple and follow their regulations. Ujjain temple had many memories to me. The main thing which I understood at the Ujjain temple, that Maharaj was extremely caring to all the devotees who came to Ujjain. He would personally take care of each and every one of them and see that they had no problems. Another interesting aspect of Guru Maharaj was that he used to have fun and enjoyed himself staying with all the devotees. One of them, I remember, was to take all the devotees to the Elephanta caves in Bombay. Now, the weather was very inclement at that time, but Maharaj was not at all afraid. Devotees cooked from their house, and a variety of prasad was taken for breakfast and lunch. And we proceeded for a wonderful day at Elephant. After the picnic was over and everybody came down from the Elephant caves, suddenly I saw Maharaj got up and started serving prasad to all the ones who had served him before. What a wonderful scene that somebody like Guru Maharaj would come down to serve prasad for each and every of his devotees. Maharaj also liked to cook and feed devotees. This we have seen and have been privileged to have prasadam in the rooms he had at Mayapur. Maharaj left behind a lot of qualities to cultivate and follow. It's going to be difficult, but I am sure Maharaj will give us his blessings and show us the right path. During his visit to Krishna Audio Visual Studio, which he funded for making of Abhay Charan, Maharaj would often come over for prasadam at our house. And on one such occasion, my son cooked a very special dish for him. He was so happy that he blessed him and our family. Another aspect, many may not be knowing, that Maharaj used to present gifts on occasions. While I'm speaking on this, I thought it would be important to tell you how I first met Guru Maharaj at Pune. I was standing outside the Radha Kunj Bihari temple in Pune to pick up my wife after she completed her service. Suddenly I saw her waving at me to come inside the temple. She was speaking to Maharaj in Bengali. She introduced me to Maharaj and I had an instant liking for him. And I would repeat what he told me at that time. As you know, my name is Deepesh. He said, Deepesh, you have worked enough in the corporate world. Have you ever worked for Krishna? I was bewildered. Why don't you join me in spreading the message of Iskcon, which is nothing but Bhagavad Gita as it is? Then I took a voluntary retirement that year. That was 1999. The rest of the story after my retirement has been told to you before by me. There was some more incidents I think would tell you about the human element of Maharaj. Maharaj once came to our house at Pune before the time he was supposed to arrive. He called us up and said, told my wife that would it be inconvenient if he came earlier to our house and take rest. Arrangements for prasadam were instantly made. We had several devotees in Pune who had the knowledge to cook at least for 30 people at one time. But one small incident I would also like to tell you. It was the human touch and caring nature of Guru Maharaj which touched me most. My wife had undergone a surgery at Bhaktivedanta Hospital. My wife informed Maharaj about the date of the operation. On the day of operation, Maharaj was so caring that he called up my wife and told her that he was offering prayers to Lord Krishna for her speedy recovery. Now just think what happened to my wife. Half of the pain had already vanished because Guru Maharaj had called her up personally. I would never think of such a gesture which could come from any of us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Just Manu Prabhu and Nitya Kishori Radhika Mataji to speak. Both of them met His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj in London, and their 3 children are all studying in Gopal's Garden School. Currently, Prabhuji is working with Aditya Birla Group as Assistant Vice President. Thank you so much.
Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschat Desh Prabhupada Gata Pranami Bhakti Charu Padam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Samniti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatharine. Actually, we are quite heartbroken with the sudden departure of our Gurudev, Srila Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. On the 4th of July, we were all praying for many weeks. Entire Iskcon community was praying, global community was praying that, and we were very hopeful that Guru Maharaj will recover. And very soon, He'll be with us and he'll be giving us so much of guidance that he had been always giving us. We were expecting him to be with us on the planet for many, many more years to come. But on the 4th July in the evening, there came the message from the GBC Executive Committee that our Guru Maharaj departed from this planet and he has closed his pastimes. We were looking at the Ujjain Zoom and devotees were still praying. And my heart was still very optimistic that this is not true. Everybody is still praying and Guru Maharaj is still there. There could be a possibility that Guru Maharaj will come back. But when Bhakti Prem Maharaj started to sing Prem Anilo, our hearts were broken and all the flashbacks started to happen in our minds. Since then, there has been waves of griefs and stream of tears which come through, and there is no solace to the aching heart. Soon after, His Grace Dwarkadish Prabhu and Vishakha Mataji spoke to us and consoled us and heard us. And His Grace Paramahans Prabhu, our counselor, and Haripriya Mataji, they called us and consoled us. But of course, there is no solace to it. And in last so many days, we have been hearing His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj glories in a very magnified way, and how he was such an exalted Vaishnava and Acharya, and how fortunate we have been. So throughout this time, the only solace we are getting is through all the senior devotees who are speaking about Guru Maharaj. We feel very, very unqualified to say anything about Guru Maharaj, but this is our duty to tell his pleasant and wonderful dealings that he has done with us over the last so many years. So we'll make an attempt, and we take blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas here and all the devotees assembled in this meeting. My first meeting happened with Guru Maharaj at Soho Street Temple in London, which was the year of 2001. And I had started to come to temple after reading Jai Srila Prabhupada, the book, a small abridged version of the biography of Srila Prabhupada by Satsvarup Goswami, and I was trying to understand the movement, trying to understand the philosophy. At that point in time, my heart was very restless as to what is this material life and what is this spiritual life about. So one time at Soho Street Temple, when Bhakti Charu Maharaj came, he gave a beautiful lecture. And after the lecture, I have been hearing lectures from a lot of sannyasis and Matajis, but this time I felt a great magnetic pull towards him, and I wanted to open my heart to him. And I said to him, Maharaj, I have some questions I want to ask you, but class was already over and he was stepping up for the second or third floor to take the prasadam. And he looked at me, he looked at my eyes, and he said, yes, you can come. And perhaps you are here because of your previous lives. So I did not understand that meaning, and I asked Maharaj, and he said, yes, it is because of previous lives only that you will seek spiritual life in such a way. Then he took me to his quarter where he was to take prasad. It was only him, and I was sitting on the floor. He was sitting on the seat. And with broken heart, I was talking to him that how I have understood now that I should surrender my life, and why I am suffering. Kameshu, Krodeshu, Rajogur, Samadbhava, Mahashano, Mahapapma, Vidyena Miya Veridam. And when I said this to him, I said, Maharaj, but I don't know what is it that is stopping me to come to you, to come to the movement, to come to Prabhupada and surrender myself completely. Please guide me. And I was kind of crying a bit. And Maharaj got up and he embraced me. He embraced me and said that, don't worry. You have come to Srila Prabhupada. He will deliver you. and he gave his garland to me. He gave his email to me and said, "You please keep in touch with me." And thereafter, he gave me an order, sort of order, that you now chant 16 rounds every day from tomorrow onwards. I don't know what happened in that embrace. All my anxieties, all my worries, all my questions got answered, and all of my worries kind of vanquished. So that day onwards, from the next day onwards, I started to write to Maharaj. I did not know who is this personality, what is his stature. He has already served almost 25 years in the service of Srila Prabhupada, and I did not know that he was a surrendered soul at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And like a foolish person, I would write to him every now and then and take his guidance, and he would be so easily and promptly replying to all the messages that I would send to him. This way, Maharaj was guiding me through and through. And later I realized that how close he was with Srila Prabhupada. In his book, he is mentioning in the Ocean of Mercy, when he reached to Mayapur after having received the nectar of devotion in Calcutta and seeing this dream that Prabhupada is his Guru Maharaj, and he was surrendering to Prabhupada in his dream. He reached Mayapur, and there it's quite impressed when he was joining the temple that it said that we should never act in such a way that would bring any kind of dishonor or disgrace to his divine grace Srila Prabhupada. He mentions that this thing was ingrained in his heart. Thereafter, when he met Srila Prabhupada first time in Kumbh Mela, he mentions that he had been waiting for this moment. When he got the glimpse from outside, he said he was waiting for this moment for years, and later and achieved the ultimate goal of his life. At the sight of Srila Prabhupada, he said that it filled him with incredible joy, and all he could hear was the insistent pounding of the heart, which felt like it would burst his chest. He says that his body began to tremble, and tears were clouding his vision. So such was the impact of just seeing Prabhupada from a distance very first time on Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. In 1977, at Guru Purnima, when he got initiated first and second together, he could not go to collect Guru Dakshina. At that time, he confessed to Srila Prabhupada in the evening that, Srila Prabhupada, I could not give you any Guru Dakshina. And Srila Prabhupada himself mentioned to him that you offered yourself, and that is the best Guru Dakshina you have given to me. And this way, then he said to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I'm offering myself to you completely. Please accept me and utilize me as the way you want. So in this way, we can see how dedicated and how surrendered he was from the very first day to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Going back to London, I was desperately looking to work in London on a work permit, and there was this company, they were doing leather business. And they were very willing to give me all the kind of facilities, a Mercedes car, a marketing proposal in Europe, and work permit, and very good salaries and packages. But soon I realized that leather is nothing but the dead animals or live animals' skins. I was not very aware about it. And I straight away wrote to Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. And he wrote back to me that don't ever get into this business. Just leave that place, and Krishna will find you something very suitable. And no wonder, as soon as I left that place, and soon after I got another very good job and replacement, and by Krishna's mercy and Guru Maharaj's guidance, I could continue without getting so much of karmic reaction if I would have indulged into that particular job. Later on, in the year 2005, I was to get married, and a very senior god brother of mine, His Grace Radha Vinod Prabhu in London, he took me to Guru Maharaj, and I expressed my intention that I would like to have a Harinam Bharat instead of having a regular Bharat in the city of Gwalior, and we would like to do book distribution during Bharat in the city, and we would like to do this marriage ceremony at reception. We would like to donate Bhagavad Gitas to everybody. So Guru Maharaj became ecstatically happy. And on the card we have mentioned Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. So I said, Guru Maharaj, in India, people don't know that Radha Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, and therefore this will be very helpful. So Guru Maharaj became so ecstatic, and he arranged the whole host of devotees to come from Ujjain in our wedding, and they did massive Harinam. He sent us lovely gift. He sent apologies that he could not be with us because he was abroad. Otherwise, he would have loved being with us. And by that time, I was not even an initiated devotee. I was nobody. I had nothing, but love of Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj was flowing to and fro to us. In first initiation, in 2005, after my marriage, Bhakticharu Maharaj asked us to take the vows, and one of the vows was that we will never leave Iskcon. He said to me that now this relationship will grow in the heart between the Guru and the disciple. He also gave me a very particular instruction, which I still need to act upon. I seek blessings that you study Manu Samhita and you follow it and make sure that the rest of the people also follow it. So this was some very particular instruction he gave to me. I'll ask Nit Kishori now to please speak.
Hare Krishna. I met Guru Maharaj first time in London just after our marriage in Bhaktivedanta manner in front of Radha Gokulanand. He introduced to me to Guru Maharaj, and he said, he just looked at me with a charming smile and said, Hare Krishna, how are you? Are you settling well? Is he troubling you? If he troubles you, then let me know. Just listen this, my eyes fill with tears. And I just think this, my father is just standing and in front of me. The next day again, we met him at our very senior Godbrother's house, Vinod Krishna Prabhu. And we told him about marriage ceremony, how it was happened. He was so happy to hear that. And he instructed me, how many rounds do you chant? I said, sometimes 4, 6, not fixed, Maharaj. Then he said, oh, then fix your round, chant 16 rounds every day. Just fix it. And instruction to me. Then he's so kind and caring. Just after my initiation, when he called Manu Prabhuji in India just for some project work. So I was pregnant at that time, and he was in India for 2 months. He called me personally on phone and talked to me, how are you, Nitya Kishori? I was so surprised. As Guru Maharaj remember my name also. I just initiated a month ago. So I was so surprised. And then he told me, how are you? How's everything is going on? Are you okay? And day before we celebrated his Vyas Puja at Manor, I told him that we celebrated your Vyas Puja. Okay, then who was there? I told him Shruti Dharma Prabhu, Mother Kalangna, and many more senior devotees. They all glorify you. Okay, then he smiled, and then he said, did you speak? I said, yes, Guru Maharaj, I also. Then he smiled. Okay, then he speaks so many things to me. And then he said, take care of you. He's so kind and caring. Guru Maharaj performed Namkaran Sanskar and Annaprashan to all my 3 kids, Lalita Sundari, Upanand and Madhuri Radhika. They were so fortunate. So he would mystically appear at right time in London or in Mumbai. When I was in anxiety that the time of ceremony is coming soon, how we will meet Guru Maharaj. Every time when he met him, he gave so much of time for the ceremony, and he would do it in a great details. I remember on my elder daughter's grain ceremony, he took her on his lap. Then Guru Maharaj said, oh, took her on her lap and pat her, and she was constantly looking at the cake. There was a cake when Mataji's birthday was there. So she was constantly looking towards the cake. And then Guru Maharaj told her, oh, you want cake also? Just wait. I'll give you cake also, but first you have to touch one thing, Bhagavatam or coins. Then he dropped her on the floor. After some time, she touched the Bhagavatam. The Guru Maharaj was so happy. He raised his hand and loudly said, Hari Bol, and immediately picked her and told us, just give this sweet rice. Then he fed her sweet rice. And then after some time, he said, okay, now give me cake also. I want to give her cake also. Then he fed cake also to her. We are so fortunate to meet Guru Maharaj, and he is so kind and caring from all our life. And he always reply, whatever we were in so anxiety and something, we mail him, he always reply and guide us. I remember one thing also, when we were in London at Prashan Prabhu's and Harsha Rani Mataji's house. So he showed us how to cook and feed all devotees very lovingly. He showed how to cut vegetables, how to wash the green leafy vegetable. At least you have to wash this 3 times. So, and then 4 or 5 items, he cooked it immediately. And very lovingly, he fed all of us. And he was sitting just there and, okay, take more, give them very lovingly. And he served all of us. And 1 or 2 items he served personally to all of us. Then when the prasadam finished, 3 or 4 devotees came to meet Guru Maharaj. So Guru Maharaj spoke to him something, and then he told, did you take prasadam? They said, no, Guru Maharaj. Okay. Then he asked all the Matajis, give them prasad. So Mataji was not able to speak because prasadam was finished by that time. And Guru Maharaj had meeting in evening also. Okay. Then please, Mataji said, oh, very slowly, prasadam is finished, Guru Maharaj. And then, oh, no problem. He went inside the kitchen and cooked again these 3 or 4 items again. And serve them. We were thinking, Guru Maharaj is so tired and he has meeting also. He cooked before also, but he's so transcendental. He never tired. He wanted to serve nicely. He wanted to show us how to serve devotees.
So we will perhaps conclude in 2 minutes more, perhaps. So one time in Buckland Hall in Wales, we had a retreat, and Guru Maharaj was doing the classes all day. In late evening, I got a service to massage his lotus feet, and I was in the room. It was just him and me, and I was massaging. And the way we understand Guru Maharaj is very soft, very delicate. And I was touching my hands very softly on Guru Maharaj's legs, and he said, press hard. And then I started pressing harder, and he said, press harder. Then I started pressing with all my might, the base of the feet, and then he slept very soon. And I realized that he's always smiling. He is always giving himself, but he's not caring for himself. How much his body was paining, that even if I was pressing with all my might, his pain was not getting soothed. So I realized that he crosses all the bodily inconveniences and give himself to the devotees. And one time, for the second initiation, when we came to Jain in 2008, Guru Maharaj was very, very happy to announce that Manudas has now started his business and he will give 50% to Krishna. And he was very happy that I was trying to follow some of the directives he has given. He said that Prabhupada has given Brahmanas to the society. We need Kshatriyas and Vaisyas. And some of you, if you have the ability, you must start some of your own business and give Lakshmi to Iskcon. And this way he was so encouraging. Unfortunately, I could not much succeed in my endeavors. And Guru Maharaj said that this must not be Krishna's desire. So you can do what you're doing. One time I was in London and Guru Maharaj said to me that I'm just coming from Malaysia. You go to Malaysia and open a construction company there, and I will take care of the rest of the things. So that time we had already decided to come to India, and he looked at my face, and I was quite red and I was numb, and I didn't know what to say, what not to say. I had made my plans. So then Guru Maharaj said, okay, you go now, and later on we'll see what happens. So Guru Maharaj was like a his heart was like a child, and he was always looking for adventure in Krishna consciousness. He wanted to throw us deep into it, and he would always assure that you guys don't know what has to be achieved through all of you by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because this movement has to spread in each and every town and village. So resources will come and things will happen, and you all will become instruments. So don't hesitate and surrender yourself. Like this, he will always encourage us and empower us. At the last, in Uddhav Gita class sessions he was giving in Ujjain, every day he was giving 3 classes in the last days, and there he was mentioning that we should not worry about death and corona. There are so many epidemics that have come and gone. We should simply surrender to Krishna, and if we all together pray to the lotus feet of Krishna, we are sure that Krishna will resolve this problem. And in his final pastimes, we can see how he made each and every single devotee of the entire globe to pray to Krishna, and the entire atmosphere was vibrant with the holy names, with the Narsimha Yagnas and the Havanas and what not. Such a global sort of revolution came with the holy names at his departure time. He chose to depart in solace in his own time, took his own time with Srila Prabhupada, listening to his Vani through the tape, meditating upon him. His heart was full of Srila Prabhupada and Prabhupada only at the time when he was leaving the globe. Today, his Vapu is coming to Delhi. He is still bestowing his mercy throughout the globe, traveling from Orlando to New York to Delhi to Mayapur like this. His purity is still giving so much of mercy to this mortal world. So his passing away is so glorious, and his living was so glorious, and we were so amazingly fortunate to be under his shelter. And now we're looking to all the senior devotees here that we can continue to serve his directions and somehow or the other give our insignificant contribution to the movement of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Kishori Radhika Mataji, for sharing your memories. We're grateful to you. Now we request Gopika Mataji to kindly speak. Mataji met Maharaj in America, and Maharaj had instructed her specially to visit Gita Nagari farm in 2005 when His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj was leaving this world. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj instructed Gopika Mataji to go there and cook and serve all the devotees during that critical time. And Mataji has done services in Detroit Temple Kitchen, and she's also helped Maharaj distribute Abhay Charan DVDs in different parts of America. So I request Gopika Mataji to kindly speak. After her, Manohar Krishna Prabhu will speak.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति चारु स्वामी इति नामिने स्निग्ध चेता सुपर्णिता भागमीनांचर सफलितम प्रभुपदा गता प्रमाणि नमो भक्ति चारु पदम नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. I am praying to the lotus feet of the Lord to give me the courage to speak about His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. I am very insignificant in this moment, but because of Bhakti Charu Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada's mercy, I came into Iskcon in 1999. I went to Juhu temple, I took darshan of Shri Radha Rasbihari, and I asked one of the senior devotees how to become a brahmacharini. So they said that the girls cannot become brahmacharini. You just have to serve the Lord, that's it. So I was very angry at that time, and then I said, okay. In 2001, I went to US for some work, and I was still in search of the truth. And in one of the libraries, I found the book of Srila Prabhupada, which is Science of Self-Realization. This book changed my life forever. In that, Srila Prabhupada says what Guru Parampara is, what is surrender to Krishna, how we should know the purpose of our life in this material world, how to read Bhagavad Gita, what it means to surrender to Guru. After reading that book, my life changed to 360 degrees, and I started praying intensely to Srila Prabhupada that I'm ready to meet my Guru Maharaj. I don't know who it is, but I want to meet and I want to surrender myself. And within a week's time, I moved from LA to North Carolina. And it was so miraculously, my journey was planned by Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. I met one of the senior devotees, my god sister. I recognized her from a Kantimala that she is Iskcon devotee. Uh, I I spoke to her and I told her that I need to be with the devotees because I'm all alone in USA. So she spoke to Guru Maharaj on telephone. He was in Europe at that time. So Guru Maharaj gave permission that I can stay with the Matajis. When I moved with the Matajis, I learned a lot of things about Iskcon, how a devotee should be, the compassion, the service, the attitude of being humble, um, different services that I could do for different devotees at that point of time. And unfortunately, I had to move back to another state because of my work. After 1 month, I met Guru Maharaj. The moment I met him, I surrendered myself. And the first instruction, what I got from him was, he asked me, "What are you doing here?" So I told him, I have some work here, Maharaj. So I've come here. He said, "You should go back to India." I said, "Okay." I didn't understand at that point of time what he meant, but I felt, these are Krishna's words which are coming to a guru, and this is my instruction, first instruction which I got from Maharaj. And he told me that once you're in India, you meet me in Kolkata. And I went back. I went back to India in 2003. I met Maharaj in Kolkata, and he asked me, "Are you ready to take your first initiation?" And I said, "Yes, Maharaj, I'm ready." Him. He said, "Whatever you do for Srila Prabhupada, you do for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you do for Iskcon. You glorify Srila Prabhupada and not me. I'm just an instrument in this world." So on Nityananda Trayodashi, I got my first initiation and I got my name as Gopika Devidasi. But during my stay in Mayapur, I got some service to serve Maharaj in his kitchen. All Matajis were serving. So I was cutting vegetables when Maharaj entered the kitchen, his kitchen, and he saw I was new to all these things. Maharaj said, "No, this is not the way. You are serving Krishna. So you have to be perfect in whatever service you do. Even if it is minimal service of cutting a vegetable, it has to be the proper size, proper shape. Whatever you cook, it has to be thinking of Radharani and Krishna. When you think of them, everything becomes pure." So these were his second instructions to me. I learned a lot from Guru Maharaj about cooking service, and that service took me to different places. His instruction for me to participate in Rath Yatra in 2005 in US and distribute Abhay Charan, distribute books on the street of New York and LA and all different places, and talk to so many new people and talk about Srila Prabhupada, the mission. It changed, it transformed my life, and I was so happy that I could serve my Maharaj in some small capacity, whatever I could do for him. In 2005, again, when Bhakti Swami Maharaj had departed from this world, he asked me to go along with a god sister of mine to Gita Nagari. There I got a service again in the kitchen, and I took the opportunity to serve almost like 20 sannyasis, which was a rare phenomena in my life, to serve so many great devotees. disciples of Srila Prabhupada under one roof. And I was so fortunate that I could follow Guru Maharaj's instruction and serve all the Vaishnavas. One thing I learned from Guru Maharaj is compassion and service, maybe whoever it is. But the moment you interact with anybody, that service, that love, that compassion, what Guru Maharaj has given us, we have to give that to the devotees who come, or the non-devotees who come to Iskcon, and serve them as Srila Prabhupada is to serve everyone. That lesson I'm still carrying with me, and I'm trying to do my best, whatever I can. Again, in 2001 onwards, 2003 onwards, I was serving in Ujjain temple, where it was small community hall, and all devotees used to gather there and do their service and do the preaching, do the Harinam Sankirtan in Ujjain. We used to go to the Ram Ghat and do Harinam Sankirtan on the streets. We used to travel to Indore and different parts. It used to give me so much pleasure being with other devotees, and starting off a small temple, and then we saw the construction of Ujjain temple in 10 months time, and we used to do book. They will become devotees. You don't have to preach them how to love Krishna. They themselves will know. Krishna will show them the way. Your work is only to do the service to Krishna. How lovingly you can do is your part. How they absorb your love is their part. So I'm trying to imbibe that in my service, and do whatever I can. His last 3 instructions to all the devotees who were serving him at that point of time was to love and serve Srila Prabhupada. He said, whatever you do is for Prabhupada. Even on his Vyas Puja day, we wanted to glorify him, and he would say, no, it's not me. We have to celebrate Srila Prabhupada's journey to USA, because Srila Prabhupada went there. The Iskcon movement started from there, and so his Vyas Puja is only glorification of Srila Prabhupada's journey to USA. Guru Maharaj used to speak Bengali, that's his mother tongue, and he used to give lectures to all the Bengali devotees. And I'm a non-Bengali, so I made an effort to learn Bengali so that I don't miss his class in Ujjain or in Mayapur, wherever Maharaj used to give his lectures. I used to try and be there and learn as much as I can. So one day he asked a question in Bengali to some other devotee, and then he looked at me and he asked, Gopika, did you understand what I said? So I said, yes, Maharaj, and I replied to him in Bengali. So he was very happy to know that I made an effort to learn something. And he said, okay, now since you have learned, now you translate that, whatever I'm saying in Bengali, into Hindi to other devotees. I said, yes, Maharaj, definitely I'll do that part. And I'll continue to do that as and when I can. Guru Maharaj's service is, we cannot quantify that. He served Srila Prabhupada's mission. He used to always tell us that whatever Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, that Iskcon movement will go from every village, every town. It will spread everywhere. And over the past few years, I've seen how Iskcon is growing, how all the devotees, all the Vaishnavas are trying to spread this movement, take Guru Maharaj's messages so seriously, Srila Prabhupada's message so seriously, and serve everyone. And I'm trying to do my bit, whatever I can in this society. So I'm praying to all the Vaishnavas, all the senior devotees, at the lotus feet of Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that may I be a small source or insignificant person to serve in this movement. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Prabhu. Now we request Krishna Manohar Prabhu to speak. Krishna Manohar Prabhu is also an IYS devotee. He is from Madhya Pradesh and he is working with the Navy, very sincere, hard-working devotee. And after Krishna Manohar Prabhu, we'll have Shamal Vallabh ji to speak.
I am not so qualified to glorify Guru Maharaj, though just I want to share some feelings towards him. That in Iskcon, the first ever sannyasi I have saw, it was His Holiness Guru Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. And from the starting of my just hello, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, we can hear you.
Okay. From the starting of just my bhakti, I was so much affected by Maharaj's humble voice. It was such like honey, and his melodious kirtan just attracts everyone, and also me. And it was just his kirtan and lecture was by which I can could come closer towards the Krishna consciousness, or just and Guru Maharaj just a representable as a symbol of a dedicated servant of the Lord, as we can see by the many examples of Guru Maharaj of so many projects, and like he translated all books of Prabhupada in Bengali language, and it just he did make this Prabhupada series. So I have not so much just a personal interaction with the Guru Maharaj, but still I remember on the once in Vyas Puja day, after his class, just he came to the Prasadam hall and just see all the arrangement is there is all right, is everything was all right or not. So just I very so much just okay how Maharaj come here and just think for others. He's so kind. And last year, just I have got the opportunity in Banaras to serve Guru Maharaj. So I have served him as good much I have as possible. And as in the last lecture of Guru Maharaj in Ujjain, as he said that I am a leader, though I know that there is a coronavirus disease in America so much spreading, though I will go there because I am a leader and I have duty. So by this example, Guru Maharaj shows that how he was dedicated towards the Krishna consciousness, towards this, spreading this movement, and just I have always this remember the one instruction of Guru Maharaj: never leave Iskcon. Whatever, just can don't never leave Iskcon. And I am not just just saying this some words only. Though now I do not have so much done some Papu Seva towards the Guru Maharaj, but by the mercy of the Lord, and just I want that Guru Maharaj and devotees, all the Vaishnavas, that in future I serve you and follow user instruction. Please just bless me. His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj.
Thank you, Krishna Manohar Prabhu. Now we request Shamal Vallabhji to speak. Shamal Vallabhji is a sports scientist, psychologist, high performance coach to professional athletes and executives. He met His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj when Maharaj was at Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Temple in South Africa. And so he'll speak, and after that, we request Sri Niketan Krishna Prabhu to be ready.
Om Jnanatanurandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshuran Militam Yana Tasme Shri Guruvam Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Parakayam Dadita Subhadantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Charu Swami Tinamine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasar Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Humble obeisances to all Maharajas, God brothers, God sisters, devotees, and thank you very much to the Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Temple for giving us this wonderful opportunity to glorify His Holiness Srila Bhakti Charu Swami. I first met Bhakti Charu Swami when I was living in the Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Temple in South Africa. This was around 2004, and I just started going and staying there. And I remember when I moved in as a young, aspiring brahmachari, all the devotees are scrambling to convince you to take initiation from their guru. And it really is quite a fluster for a young boy in the temple. But, luckily for me, I was mentored by a very, very wonderful disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who was a very, very dear friend of Guru Maharaj, His Grace Shamlal Prabhu. And by the mercy of these wonderful devotees and disciples of Maharaj, like Vinda Prabhu, Krishna Charan Prabhu, I was fortunate enough to take a lot of association with Maharaj from there going on for the next many, many years. And little did I realize that was going to blossom into what was going to be a really wonderful relationship that evolved in very, very many ways. Besides being my spiritual master, he was my friend, my mentor. He helped not just me, also my clients who I worked with around the world. Today, I'll share a few stories of from my years of traveling with Maharaj and getting his guidance. I remember one particular conversation very early on when we were sitting in Shamla Prabhu's house with Maharaj. And in that time, Bhakti Charu Swami learned that my job was to train professional athletes, and I was an ultra marathon runner, so I had to run long races. So Maharaj was someone who was always concerned about the health and well-being of devotees. So he says, why don't you start a running club at the temple at Sri Sri Radha Radhanath? And so I remember approaching all the devotees and asking them at the temple, why don't you join a running club? Maharaj says we can call this the Jagannath Running Club. And unfortunately, there weren't too many takers, or there weren't any takers at all. About a year and a half later, I met Maharaj, and he asked me, how's your running club going? So I had to report that, the devotees are a lot more excited about Harinam Sankirtan than they are about running. So Maharaj asked me, why do you think this is? So I remember telling him, Maharaj, I think the running shorts or the running attire that is needed is not quite Vaishnava attire. And that didn't go down well. And we had a very long laugh about it. I spent some time, and in 2007, I had the wonderful opportunity to move to India. And one of the main reasons that I took that decision to move to India was because I would get the opportunity to be closer to Maharaj and spend a lot more time with him. The job that I was taking up was to train all India's Olympic athletes, prepare them for the Beijing, London Olympics, and I was going to travel on the ATP tour. I was exceptionally new to traveling, and when I first moved to India, Guru Maharaj arranged me to stay at the Juhu temple, and then we met, and he asked me, he says, in an effort to ensure that I was comfortable anywhere in the world, he wanted to be in touch with me. He wanted to ensure that my spiritual life was not hampered in any shape and form. And I spent almost 5.5, 6 years traveling around the world, sometimes 20 countries a year. And every week, Maharaj would call me or send an email and connect me with a different devotee in a different city, just to ensure that I was taking the association of devotees and that my prasad was taken care of and all sorts of things. And, and Bhakti Charu Swami's kindness and compassion and love in my association extended way beyond me. He was always there for my athletes. And I remember a very, very particular time when I was traveling with one of India's tennis players by the name of H.H Bhakti, who was going through something personal and he wanted to take Maharaj's guidance. So Maharaj arranged for us to fly to Ujjain. He sent his car to pick us up from Indore and drive us across. He cleared his entire schedule for the day. And Maharaj and Bhakti Prem Swami and the entire team took really, really amazing care. And for as long as we were there, Maharaj did absolutely nothing else. It just spent time with Mahesh Guide, talked to him. And it was just the most beautiful, loving interaction, which we all have become so accustomed to. One of my next trip to Ujjain was when I heard that Maharaj had taken ill. So I flew from Bombay and he had arranged, he came, and no matter where I met him in the world, and I traveled with Maharaj and I worked and I met him in probably more than 20 countries. And he always insisted that I stay with him and that I take prasad with him. And on this one particular day, when we were about to have lunch on the day that I arrived, Maharaj had this most beautiful, radiant glow on his face, And I said, Maharaj, you're looking very, very happy today. And he says, yes. He says, because, since I've taken ill, my diet has been boiled spinach and rice. And that's what I've been eating. And that's the diet that the doctor prescribed. But today, because you are here, we get to eat pizza. And that was one thing that we both shared in common. We both really absolutely love pizza. But that relationship really started to evolve with time. In 2013, I set up a business in India. It's called the Heal Institute, which takes care of the physical well-being of people. And Maharaj flew down to come and inaugurate the center. And I remember him walking into the institute on the very, very first day. And it was full. We had about 70 people. And as soon as we came, everyone stopped doing whatever. They stopped looking around and they encouraged, they wanted to hear from Maharaj. So Maharaj, got everybody into the gym and he gave class for about 30 minutes to 75 people. He blessed everybody. And on his way out, and during those times, we had a lot of famous actors and famous cricketers were all there, and everybody sat down. Nobody was interested in anyone else that was there. Everyone was just absorbing every word that Maharaj said. And when he was leaving out, he told me, Shamal, use this business to serve Krishna. Use it to take care of everyone. And by Maharaj's guidance, what we did over the 6 years that I ran that was we treated all devotees and all athletes who couldn't afford for free, especially devotees from any temple, not just Iskcon, anyone who came. And, I didn't understand what Maharaj was thinking and how it was happening. But one of the most beautiful things happened over those 6 years, that every single time a devotee came from either Juhu or Chowpatty or any temple, they came with Mahaprasad, and that Mahaprasad was distributed to every single person, every patient in the clinics, everyone that was working there. And the presence of the devotees and the prasad distribution, in my mind, really transformed more lives than we actually ever did. And I was eternally grateful for that. Last year, we did a activity in Singapore, an Arati Forum event, where we planned to have a discussion in front of a large audience. And so I flew from Bombay to be with Maharaj. And that night we were talking, and Maharaj was saying, what should we discuss? And I had a few ideas, and he was talking about how we should talk about service and how to cultivate your spiritual cord whilst you're building a business. And I told Maharaj, is it possible? Why don't we talk about Advaita philosophy a little bit? Because, I'm a scientist and I have a very inquiring mind. And I was a firm believer that if people understand themselves, they'll be able to channel that energy towards Krishna. And Maharaj told me something really nice. He says, you're a scientist and your mind always wants to look for answers, but not everything can be seen. And he says that, in fact, the closest thing to your eye you cannot see, which is your eyelid. Okay, and he says, Prema Bhakti is devotional faith towards Krishna. Advaita is the human mind's inquiry for self-growth. He said that the human mind cannot remember everything, which is why it only needs to remember one thing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But despite that, Maharaj was very supportive of my scientific mind, my inquiry into the body, into the mind, into growth. And no matter what I did, he supported me, but he always told me, never forget to chant and serve our devotees. My last telephone conversation with His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami was a few days before he left for the United States. I remember him calling me and saying that, he'll be leaving soon amidst all of everything that was going on, but he was confident that on this mission. And so I told Maharaj, I need to tell you something. I said, Maharaj, I have a new book that will be published in August this year. And Maharaj, the book is going to be dedicated to you. And he was extremely grateful. And then I told him, Maharaj, but I would like to request that alongside you, if I could please dedicate this book to His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. Because Radhanath Maharaj and the devotees at Chowpatty have been incredibly kind and nurturing to me in my devotional service, and sometimes in your absence. And Bhakti Charu Swami said, he said, Shama, it would make me very, very happy if you do this, if you dedicate this book to Radhanath Maharaj as well, because he's a really incredible Vaishnava, and I'm really glad you're spending time with him. And he told me a story. He says, there was a time when, a brief moment when Radhanath Maharaj took a small sabbatical, I think in the 90s, to Europe, and he'd returned. And Maharaj said he was doing class in Juhu temple when he heard that Radhanath Maharaj was back in Chowpatty temple. And he says, without calling and telling anyone, he got into a car and he drove because he wanted to surprise Maharaj. And when he got to the temple, Radhanath Maharaj was giving class, and he walked into the temple. And in the middle of the temple room, they embraced each other. Okay. And for Bhakti Charu Swami, that was probably one of those most profound moments for him in his relationship with Maharaj. And it was a moment that really had no words. It was a union of two servants of Krishna, two brothers. And I'm saying this story because whenever I close my eyes now, I see this image of our beloved Srila Bhakti Charu Swami really embracing every one of us, everyone he loves, his god brothers, his disciples, his gurus, all with overwhelming loving and kindness. Maharaj was a truly remarkable Vaishnava. He was an incredible friend and a wonderful gentleman, and he had all the qualities of the most purest devotees. I'm not qualified to be saying this and being here to say this. In the last few days for me, exactly as it's been for all of his other disciples, you can imagine that the pain has been incredibly intense from separation. I remember I could not stop crying for days. And, and for the first time, I really started to understand the conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai when they said the greatest pain is a separation from a devotee. But Maharaj always told me, he says, Shama, we should learn to use our pain, because if you channel whatever emotion you have, whatever pain you have, if you channel it in the service of Krishna, then we can feel the energy of Guru and we can feel the energy of Krishna in that manner. So these are the words I will try to remember and try to serve. And to all the devotees, I pray that you're blessed and that Maharaj guides you. All glories to Srila Bhakticharu Swami. Humble obeisances. Hare Krishna.
In Bombay is close to Gaur Gopal Prabhu and Gaurang Prabhu. And last year he helped to arrange a program for His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj in St. Andrews, Bandra. Thank you so much. Now we'll hear from Sri Niketan Krishna Prabhu. Sri Niketan Krishna Prabhu is an initiated disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. Around 5 years back, he shifted to Ujjain temple and was connected to Ujjain temple, rendered many services there. So he has a lot of interactions with Maharaj and his disciples, so he'll share. After Sri Niketan Krishna Prabhu, we request Anang Mohan Prabhu to be ready.
Namaste Saraswateve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshwanyavadi Paschatya Deshtaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Srila Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. Though I'm not very qualified to speak about Maharaj, and I'm very grateful to all the devotees who gave me this opportunity to speak a little bit about Maharaj. Whatever some strong memories I have about Maharaj, I would share over here. I'm in Iskcon since 2008 and started in I stayed in Bilawan base for 4 years. After VTA in 2014, I went to Jen and stayed there for 5 years. In last 5 years, during my stay in Ujjain, I had developed a very special relationship with Maharaj. Though I had very less interaction, but still it was a connection of, you know. So for my Iskcon, for me it was like Iskcon Ujjain means His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. So after leaving Mumbai in 2014, I was in a great distress whether while going to Jen, I was in great distress whether I would be getting a similar kind of ambience and association over there or not, because I had heard that every temple has their own different flavor, and sometimes it's difficult to adjust for us in the congregation there. So, but after coming to Jen, I felt a great love and warmth, and never felt like away from chowpatty duties. So Maharaj has created such a wonderful, caring atmosphere over there, that whoever devotee come from outside would get more care and attention that he or she never felt any distress. I remember once His Grace Murlidhar Prabhu visited Ujjain, and Maharaj knowing me, the connection from chowpatty, he especially told me to take care, special care of His Grace Murlidhar Prabhu. So Maharaj was a prana for Iskcon Ujjain. Whenever he was in Ujjain, it was like a great festival for all the devotees. It was like a Diwali for everybody. We did not see Prabhupada, but whatever we have heard and read about Srila Prabhupada was reflecting in him. As soon as the news arrives that Maharaj has landed to Indore airport, devotees would be singing and dancing at the temple gate till his car arrives. Maharaj would get down and go to temple hall, have darshan, and then will give arrival address. He would ask everyone's welfare, that would then after that he would go for rest. Every evening a soulful kirtan was there, and every devotee when Maharaj arrives that would request Maharaj, please have a kirtan. So whether Maharaj was tired, but still he used to take some time to have kirtan in the evening. And every devotee would be eagerly waiting for that kirtan. But not devotees, but even the people who are not connected directly with the Iskcon, the Ujjain residents would specially come to hear Maharaj's soulful kirtan. And when kirtan is ended in the evening after the kirtan, the Maharaj, there was a very special moment that every devotee would wait for, and that was to get the Maha garland from the Maharaj's hand. That too in a very special way. It was like if you have seen the Iskcon Ujjain temple, you must have seen there is a connecting bridge between the temple and the ashram. So after finishing the kirtan in the evening, Maharaj would go to his ashram room from the bridge. So and all the devotees would gather below the bridge and would wait for the Maharaj's arrival over the bridge. So Maharaj would show his mercy by throwing all the garlands, all the Maha garlands on the devotees. So as soon as Maharaj would reach the bridge, the devotees would loudly cry that Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, so that Maharaj to get the Maharaj's attention. So to receive the mercy from Maharaj, Maharaj very compassionately would throw the garlands on the devotees. Sometimes he would make little fun that he would see whether to see somewhere, and he would to throw the garland to some other devotee. So that way it was a very funny and very transcendental movement, and very it was a wonderful pastimes that everybody would uh, feel and see. And there was always a competition between the devotees to get those garlands. Uh, if you see Maharaj, he was such a charismatic Vaishnava that just by seeing him, people would get attracted. Once I remember, the chief officer of the Indore airport especially came to visit Maharaj. Many times he would see Maharaj in the airport, and he developed a great desire to meet him. So many senior, hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Many times he would see Maharaj in the airport, and he would developed a great desire to meet him just by seeing him only. He didn't interact with him. So that way, Maharaj has a charismatic glance that everybody, he's a charismatic personality that everybody would eager to see him and meet him. Even many senior administrative officer of the government in Ujjain would visit during his visit in Ujjain, during his presence in Ujjain. Most of the times in morning Bhagavatam class would held at Maharaj quarter only. Would always ask the welfare of the devotees in the class. First, before starting the class, he would ask the welfare of everybody who is present in the class. Then only he would start. He was a living example of Prabhupada's instruction that your love for me will be shown by how you cooperate with each other. And I remember related to this, I remember one incident. Once there was a small dispute between the two devotees, and one devotee was trying to express his concern to Maharaj in the class after completion of the class in a complaining mode. So even before he completes his complaint, Maharaj very clearly expressed and explained in such a way that devotee should deal, how the devotee should deal, and how his way was wrong. So personally, if I see, though I met him personally one or two times during my stay over there, but that meeting I can never forget in my life. I was going through some difficulties. Once I was going through these such difficulties, and I was seeking for his divine guidance and blessing. So I took an appointment with his secretary and come on given time slot to his quarter. When I was about to go to meet him, one more devotee came with urgent issue to discuss with Maharaj. So I was told to wait for a few more minutes. After this meeting, you can meet him. So that meeting went for half an hour, not much more than that, and there was not a problem at all for me to wait. So after that, when he saw me waiting outside him, he himself came out of his quarter and started apologizing to me. I'm so sorry, I kept you waiting. And it was so embarrassing for me. And I was thinking, I'm such an insignificant person. I have no any qualification over here, and I'm not even contributing anything over here. But he was so concerned that I had to wait for him. He was epitome of all great Vaishnava qualities. As Prabhupada said, I want all my disciples to become perfect gentlemen, and he showed how to become a perfect gentleman through his actions. His glance, smile was so soothing that many times whenever I would have anxieties, I would just have his darshan and his glances that my all the anxieties would have gone. Though Maharaj had highly busy schedule, he would always respond the emails personally. When I met him, he told me that even if you after this meeting, even if you feel any times want to speak with me, want to connect with me, you can connect with me through emails. I will be there for you. If you have any problems or anything if you want to. He also named my daughter Gaurangi. So his email and his email communications with were not very short kind of, but it was very elaborative, and that all the problems or anything which have it was perfectly addressed. So right now, though Maharaj is not there with us in his Vapu form, he's there in Vani form, but I feel many fallen souls like me always need a Vapu form of Maharaj for his divine glance. I'm deeply saddened with his leaving us physically. It seems like Ujjain congregation is without prana now. I can imagine how every devotee in Ujjain might be going through, and not just Ujjain, but all the disciples and devotees connected with him, because he had that charismatic quality that he instantly would develop a loving relationship with everybody who comes in connection with him. So no doubt this laws can never be fulfilled, but this is so wonderful society Srila Prabhupada has created that in such difficult times we have so many senior devotees shoulders and their solace to all the grieving hearts. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Now we request Anang Mohan Prabhu to kindly speak. Anang Mohan Prabhu, although he is in Kolkata, is like a family member of Iskcon chowpatty, so he will speak. And after Anang Mohan Prabhu, we request Gaurang Prabhu to kindly be ready.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति चारु स्वामी नामिने सिंह चेत सुप्रनेत वाग्मिनं च रसामृतम प्रभुपाद गत प्राण नौमि भक्ति चारु पदम। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So I am very blessed and I'm feeling myself very fortunate to be with you all today on this beautiful occasion of Maharaj's Tirobhav Mahamahotsav that we are all celebrating. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mangal also vividly describes that how it is important to be in the association of devotees and how Krishna loves his devotees. And Srimad Bhagavatam says also, Krishna says personally, Aham Bhakto Paradhino, I am controlled by my devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mor Bhakto na puje, more puje matro, dambhikshe na hoy mor kripar patra. The person who is worshipping me is not my devotee. The person who is worshipping my devotee is actually my devotee. Also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Antalila, very beautifully he speaks in the pastimes of Kalidas that Bhakta Pada Dhuliyar, Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhukta Avashesh, 18 Sadhaner Mahabad. That how it is so great. If you want devotion, then you must take the remnants of the Vaishnavas. You must worship the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas and drink the Charanamrita coming from their lotus feet. And the dust, if you can touch the dust of the lotus feet of a great saint, that is so wonderful. Even we see that in Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahadev is saying that Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param Tasmat Parato Devi Tadyanam Samaskaram. That among the worship, the best worship is worshipping Vishnu, and more than that is worshipping his devotees. Padma Puran states that I was hearing all the wonderful devotees speaking and glorifying Srila Guru Maharaj. I was remembering that a moment association, or if you can serve a sadhu once, a pure devotee, it is equivalent to 60,000 years if you are serving in Vaikuntha planet. Padma Puran speaks about it. So yes, Maharaj was our GVC in Calcutta, and one of the GVCs, and he is the most frequent GVC who used to come and bless us. I know him from 1995. I met him in one of my godbrother's house, and I was just a student at that time, and I got a small gift for him. But because I was not so trained, when I was giving my obeisances, that gift fell down. And then he picked it up. I very clearly remember, and then said, "Is it for me?" Then I said, "Yes, it is for you, but I don't know whether it will be useful or not." It was a paperweight. And then he said, "This is just that thing that I was desiring to keep it in my table." That was the beginning, Maharaj's personal association. Sometimes we speak about personal relationship, and our philosophy is a personal relationship with Krishna. But some or other, sometimes we don't see in the behavior of many, especially about me. But whoever has met Maharaj, even for once, they must agree, and they are agreeing that he has touched their life, and they cannot forget him. That is a quality that Srila Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj had, and he is having that quality. So Prabhupada says in Bhaktivedanta purports that Krishna is famous because of two reasons. One is Krishna is very simple, and because of his simplicity, another beautiful quality comes in Krishna, and that is he is approachable by every single person. And we see this quality in Maharaj. Guru Maharaj was many times, more than one time he was a GVC chairman. He was been awarded by the GVCs and Iskcon world as a behavioral, Vaishnava etiquette, and so many things in regard of altar, in regard of Prabhupada deity, the Parampara deities, and the deity dresses, and then his singing, his kirtan, his lectures, all he is master. However, even if he is having so many beautiful qualities, which is actually very difficult to get in one person, but he is so simple as well. I remember that he's so simple that one day he said, well, I will cook today. Then I said, no, Guru Maharaj, we are there to cook and we can serve you. But then he cooked and he fed all of us, all brahmacharis in Calcutta. We were like 55 brahmacharis at that time. And then, it is also said that another beautiful quality which I feel as a leader he has, that the vision. Prabhupada used to say that I cannot think small. That is my problem. And I think from his small. We had all the programs in Calcutta. It was his guidance, especially the Srila Prabhupada Jaladut Yatra, that festival that we had in 2015. And many of you were there. Gaurang Prabhu was also there. And everybody was amazed to see 32,000 people in Netaji Indoor Stadium. And that whole idea came from him. And he never has to compromise, whether it is it is a standard and of prasad, standard of deity worship, standard of kirtan, standard of anything. He was so that reminds me another quality that Rupa Goswami speaks about, that attention to detail is sign of love. So much love he has for Srila Prabhupada, so much love he has for the deities and the devotees. He is so compassionate. I will tell you one time, and his relationship, whether it is His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, whether it is Srila Gurudev, His Holiness Srila Tamal Krishna Swami Maharaj. In 2002, when we were serving Gurudev, and we were all young college students during that time. So we were cleaning Gurudev's quarters in Conch building in Shridham, Mayapur. And when everything was okay, we thought that it is the best thing that we can do. Suddenly, Guru Maharaj comes. His quarter is just above Gurudev's quarter. And he says, what you have done, this is all, wrong. And you need to change everything. Goswami Maharaj, Gurudev will never like it. Then I said, I was in charge of the cleaning at that time. And all of us, myself, many other of my god brothers, they were also cleaning. Then I said, we don't have good things at this point. Then Maharaj so compassionately, so wonderfully said, you just go to my room and ask, there was Baninath Prabhu was there, and ask him to give whatever you need, they should give. And I remember a very funny thing what we did. From his veranda to Gurudev's kitchen, we tied a rope with knots. So we used to, whatever we need in the kitchen of Gurudev, and his room, Gurudev's room, we used to go to his place and he used to bring it. And he will again he will ask that, anything I can do for you. One time, all his god brothers, including Srila Tamal Krishna Swami Maharaj, Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, all of them are taking prasadam. So suddenly, Srila Tamal Krishna Swami Maharaj asked, how Krishna used to take? I heard Krishna used to take the sweet items first while taking lunch and prasad, and then means Krishna means bhoga. And should we start? We should follow Krishna, to start with sweets and then end with, salty things. So at that time, Guru Maharaj was there, Srila Bhakticharu Swami Guru Maharaj was there. So Maharaj immediately said that, no, we don't bother what Krishna does. He said, we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Our Lord is Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us, to start with bitter items, and shak and shukto, all this, bitter items, and end should be very sweet. Madhurena samapaya. And then everybody of them, all of them, they laughed. And then they said that, Gurudev then said that, you are a pakka, he used this word, you are a pakka Gaudiya Vaishnav, Bengali Vaishnav. So from today onwards, I will start with bitter items and then I will end with sweet. So many times, we got this opportunity. Whenever he will come, many of you, God brothers and God sisters, have spoken that whenever he will come, it's a festival. It's a festival indeed. And I can't still believe that he is with Krishna. Yes, every one of us, we have to go. Definitely. Krishna has called him. However, so early and so sudden it is very difficult to understand. Then again, I will repeat the same thing that he always told as a manager, as a leader, that when you cooperate with each other, that is the best service you can do for your spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada. So I'm also begging to Maharaj. Maharaj has been so kind to all of us. And I used to introduce him whenever he used to come to Calcutta. And he will call me, you are there? And I said, yes, Maharaj, we are here. I said, okay, I'm coming. And sometimes if I am not there, he will say, I am coming and you are not taking me seriously. I said, Guru Maharaj, I'm sorry, you didn't tell me, that's why. No, I understand. And one thing I noticed in him, even if he chastises, he will immediately call back after some time, maybe 2 or 3 hours later, and he will say, I was very harsh with you, isn't it? So I hope you understand what I said, but thank you very much for your services. And it was so nice. So whether it is his chastisement and whether it is his love, it all means us the same, which always reminds us Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. So it is a very special day, and I pray to the Vaishnavas and to Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada that I can serve and follow the instructions that he has given to all of us. His Holiness Srila Bhakticharu Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you very much.
So, Anang Mohan Prabhu. Now we request Gaurang Prabhu to speak, and after Gaurang Prabhu, request Sahadev Prabhu to be ready.
Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. We are all drowned in feelings of lamentation, in separation from a real, genuine Vaishnava, His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. Bhagavatam describes Titikshava Karunika Suhrda Sarvadehinam Ajata Shatra Shanta Sadhavo Sadhu Bhushanam. The symptoms of a sadhu is the divine qualities which that personality has manifested, like tolerance, compassion, well-wishing friend of all, not being the enemy of anyone, etc. Ajata Shatra Shanta Sadhavo Sadhu Bhushanam. So the last word is very interesting. It says Sadhu Bhushanam. So Bhushan basically refers to ornament or a medal. And therefore, the Acharyas explain that only when a person has pleased Krishna sufficiently, fighting in the battle against Maya, Krishna is so pleased with such a devotee that just like in a war where the soldier fights valiantly, then such a successful soldier for his bravery is awarded medals of victory. So that Sadhu Bhushanam refers to awards of various devotional qualities which Krishna provides and Krishna supplies to a devotee when he is pleased with that devotee's devotional service and relentless, determined fight against the material energy. His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj was such a refined, cultured, amazingly focused Vaishnava that we can all experience in our interactions with him that Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna had blessed him profusely. This is in 2019, there was an ICC meeting which was going to be held in Mayapur. Temple leaders from all over India were going to come. And there was this devotee who was kind of coordinating this meeting. And he sent out a standard email to all the leaders across India who were supposed to attend. And he just said the various instructions given. Please approach Bhakta so-and-so in Gada building. And second point is ICC meeting venue will be the GBC conference hall in the Conch building. 3, for Prasadam, please come to the Gada ground floor. 4, for those who reached already, then the Prasadam will be in this place between 1 to 3 p.m. Dinner will be at 7 p.m. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. He just mentioned one after another in a kind of a very mechanical way. So typically nobody kind of responds to these kind of mails, and everybody just notes their, logistics, and everyone understands that, okay, this is like a, giving information about logistics. So, I also received that mail. I never thought much about it. And there was only one response to this mail, and that came from Bhakticharu Maharaj. And he wrote in this mail that I am not attending this meeting. However, I wish this language could have been a little more polite. So as soon as this devotee who wrote this mail, like a typical logistics information and everything, he said, Maharaj, I'm extremely sorry for such a language. In fact, I didn't even know that, you are receiving this message. And please, I promise that in the future, I will be more polite and express things in a more cultured manner. And so Maharaj immediately wrote back. He says, thank you very much for your sincere response. We all belong to one family, he says, where we are all related to each other with a loving bond. I'm just reading Maharaj's words as it is. Thank you very much for your sincere response. We all belong to one family where we are all related to each other with a loving bond. Therefore, the seniors of the family take the responsibility to correct the juniors when they make mistakes. Thank you very much for accepting my intended correction with the right spirit. Therefore, there is no doubt that Maharaj has a special place within Iskcon as a minister for culture, because there was no one who could actually represent the Vaishnava culture better than His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. In the Bhaktivedanta Research Center, Kolkata, we are very closely connected to His Holiness Bodhayan Maharaj, who has actually given a very large number of books belonging to Srila Saraswati Thakur and his, disciples collection. So he's a disciple of His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. And he mentioned that in his offering recently, that His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj was extremely loving and very gentle in his dealings towards Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, Bhakti Pramod, His Holiness, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, and all the devotees in the Gaudiya line who are not part of Iskcon. And he also mentions that in fact, His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj took the responsibility of sponsoring the education of the grandson of Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj's brother's grandson. And he also took responsibility of sponsoring the worship of the Ananta Vasudev temple at Ambika Kalna, which was being run by Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. And he also personally, through his disciples, made arrangements for taking care of the health of Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj way back in the 90s. So he mentions that, in my observation, His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj was endowed with a quality to generously serve the senior Vaishnavas without any discrimination. And therefore, we find that this was a quality which really endeared Maharaj to millions of devotees across the world. In fact, he would always make this point: whatever happens, do not leave Iskcon. The GBC is the ultimate managing authority. And you can show your love for Srila Prabhupada by how you cooperate with each other. One of Prabhupada's disciples wrote that, after just before Bhakticharu Maharaj left from India to America, he called this devotee early in the morning of that devotee for Bhakticharu Maharaj. And that devotee got bewildered in America that, Maharaj, it is 2 a.m. in the morning for you. You have not yet slept, or have you woken up very early? And Maharaj said, actually, I've been thinking about how this entire movement will keep Srila Prabhupada in the center in the years to come. And this thought has been bothering me. And because of thinking about this, I have not been able to sleep. So I thought I'll just call you because it is daytime for you, and I'll just share my heart and reveal my heart and my anxiety and confidence to you. So it was not just a statement which he would make. This was an actual, genuine concern in his heart which he would experience all the time. And therefore, everybody in Iskcon was like his family. And anyone, whether they were his disciples or not, experienced the same feeling of reciprocation, of love, and the personal touch. Gopal Krishna Maharaj writes in his offering that Iskcon is like a large joint family where there are so many uncles and aunts and nephews and nieces. And so when one family is personally affected, then all the other extended family come forward. And it is all a large family to which we are all connected to, coming from His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. In 2019, in September, His Holiness Bhakticharu Maharaj, out of the blue, wrote an email in the Leadership GBC conference. And I was very touched by that email. And in that he said to everybody, can you all please pray for the late Vishnujan Swami's spiritual well-being? And then he says, time and again we have seen how powerful devotees' prayers are. Therefore, with all the earnestness, I will make a request. He says, of course, Srila Prabhupada told us that wherever Vishnujan Swami is, he is chanting the holy name. Still, from our side, if we show our love, compassion, and gratitude for him, he will undoubtedly feel solace and support. And here is a prayer which he is expressing and requesting all the devotees in Iskcon, especially the senior leaders, to make for someone who had departed way back in the 70s. So this reveals the heart of His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, which was so soft with compassion, the Vaishnav compassion. Shesha Prabhu mentions in his offering that sometimes it is difficult to imagine a heart which is soft with compassion. Can it also have the ferocity and the bravery of a lion? And he says, yes, this kind of apparent contradictory quality was resolved and harmonized in the character of His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, where first he became the GBC. He joined he was invited into the GBC in 87. In 88, he became the GBC chairman. And in 2018, when he was the GBC chairman, it was a very historic stint as a chairman. During that period, there was a threat for one of the most prominent temples of Iskcon, the Iskcon Center of Brooklyn, to be taken away from Iskcon because of various complexities. And at that point, it was a threat that Iskcon would lose the Brooklyn Center and few people would take it away. And so the GBC made a resolution to bring that Iskcon temple back to Iskcon and removing those officers who were trying to kidnap the temple away. And then there was a question, who would be the one who would go and make that announcement in the Sunday feast when all the congregation is there and most of the congregation were in support of those rebelling officers. And then it had to be announced and there would be apparently a showdown. It was obvious. And therefore, in that very highly confrontational atmosphere, His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, as the chairman of the GBC at that time, he decided and volunteered that I would go and make that announcement. And you could see in a video, it is there on the YouTube, he goes in and he makes that announcement that the GBC, Iskcon GBC has resolved to remove these officers who are claiming, that they are the current officers, but they have been removed. And this is what the GBC's will is. And as he is making that announcement, some try to take the mic away from him, but somehow he manages to keep that mic intact and then leads a boisterous kirtan for half an hour, thus establishing the authority of the GBC. And those rebelling leaders then bring in the police after half an hour, and somehow for some period, the devotees were not allowed who were loyal to Iskcon to enter that temple. But then ultimately, the New York courts ruled in favor of the GBC of Iskcon. And then in October of 2018, again, Iskcon got full possession. And a major contribution for that would go to the bravery, the initiative, the ability to take some hard decisions and communicate those hard decisions, which could be seen by His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. Ravindra Swarup Prabhu shares in his realization that one of the qualities he saw in Prabhupada is a unique combination of greatness and humility, which is extremely difficult to bring together. And one person which he saw doing that effortlessly was His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, where he could see this combination of greatness and humility brought together. So in the Varaha Puran, it is described that sthite manasi suswasthe sharire satiyo naraha dhatu samaye sthite smarta vishwarupam chamam ajam. One who worships Krishna, serves Krishna, glorifies Krishna as a Supreme Lord whenever he is in a fit state, when he is in a healthy state. Tatastam riyamanastu kasta pashana sannibham aham smarami madbhaktam nayami paramam gatim. That in the last stages, if due to some reason he is incapacitated, so Lord Varahadev says, aham smarami madbhaktam. Because that devotee has so relentlessly, with dedication and determination, served and remembered me, I remember my devotee. Nayami paramam gatim. I come and take such a devotee back to the spiritual abode of mine. And therefore, in His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, we felt extremely protected in the form of a person who truly represented the will of Srila Prabhupada, who is always concerned about Srila Prabhupada. In the GBC college, he was one of the most active trustees who has given lectures in practically every location of the GBC college, including the Eco Village, in Pune, in Tirupati, in Russia, in USA, in South America. And in fact, I must confess that I was also booked I was also about to be booked because my name came in that list of teachers who were supposed to teach in the GBC college at Brazil. And so I was in conversation with the leaders there, how I was going to travel. But then as I started going through the logistics of travel, it was so difficult and arduous travel to go from India to South America that at the last moment, I just said, who will travel all the way just for, 2-3 lectures? And then I canceled. And then I came to know that His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj had also made a similar journey and came there just to give 2 sessions. And then I saw his group photo with all the college attendees. And then I realized my insignificance, that here is somebody who's 25 years elder to me, but then his commitment, his dedication, his conviction that the future of Iskcon very much depends on the leaders, and those leaders need to be trained in Prabhupada's philosophy, in Prabhupada's attitude, in Prabhupada's vision, by those who have had Srila Prabhupada's association. That was so touching to me. And in fact, in 2015, when we began the GBC college, and we had created one book, that the book is called Being Srila Prabhupada Anugas. So actually, Rasik Raman Prabhu at Chowpatty, he prepared that book, and we were planning to just send it as a PDF copy to all the attendees. And then when His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj got that copy, because he was supposed to teach that, it was supposed to be just accompanying that particular lesson. He saw that PDF and he immediately called me and he said, I want to print this. And I said, Maharaj, it's only 1 week away for the GBC college. Let's forget this idea. He said, no, we will print it, because in future, Iskcon is not going to be run just based on some management expertise, but it will be run based on how the devotees, they follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, and they are sincere and submissive and loyal to Srila Prabhupada's teachings. And therefore, more than any other technique, we need to teach the future leaders on what it means to be Srila Prabhupada Anugas. And therefore, this beautiful book which you see was personally printed, and this is one of the first copies which Maharaj personally gave me. He printed it and he brought it, and then those prints, they were still being distributed till like last year. And so his faith in following Srila Prabhupada's instruction is such that we all feel safe under such amazing, dedicated leaders. In his absence, we feel suddenly orphaned. And we also realize that we should not take the devotees' association for granted. Each and every devotee who's leading Srila Prabhupada's movement is a precious jewel. And as long as we have that jewel, and these jewels are reflecting the divine grace of Srila Prabhupada, we may just feel that, okay, we will have that luxury forever. But no, Krishna is revealing to us that as long as these precious jewels are still with us on the planet, of course, their Vani is always with us. But when their Vapu is there with us, let us take every moment of that Vapu very, very seriously. And let us always remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions in Chaitanya Bhagavat, that if you want to go back home, back to Godhead, just do 2 things. Chant Hare Krishna and never criticize the Vaishnavas. Whether we are able to understand their activities or not, never ever criticize the Vaishnavas, because we only have a very short span of time to perfect our lives in Krishna consciousness. And all this negativity is not worth it. Therefore, my heart goes out to all those direct disciples of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. And I want to let all of you know that each one of us in the Iskcon society, we are with you because it is a loss for the entire humanity. It is a loss for entire Iskcon society. Each one of us deeply feel pained in the loss of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj's direct association. But this particular situation also makes us equally determined to dive deeper, to study each one of those pearls of instruction which have come from the lotus lips of His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, and see how we can apply each one of those instructions in our own lives to purify our existence, to glorify Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, and to share this compassion with the entire world. His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Gaurang Prabhu. Now we request Sahadev Prabhu to kindly speak, and after Sahadev Prabhu, Radha Krishna Prabhu will speak.
Nam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. I have sweet memory of the first Mayapur Yatra in 1993. We were invited by Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and when we reached there in the temple compound of Mayapur, we were very warmly and lovingly received by Bhakti Charu Maharaj and Jayapataka Maharaj in a traditional way. It was such a exceptional reception which we got there. And as a perfect host, Bhakti Charu Maharaj was very kind enough to see that all of the devotees went there, were comfortably placed, and were given very nutritious and delicious prasad. Whenever we went to different places, parikrama, then either Bhakti Charu Maharaj was with us, along with Radhanath Maharaj, or Jayapataka Maharaj was there, or sometimes all the three sannyasis were there with us. It was a memorable yatra, and we all experienced exceptional bliss in that yatra. Few years back, I had gone to Ahmedabad in some marriage, and when I went for darshan at Iskcon temple, I came to know that Bhakti Charu Maharaj was coming that day to Ahmedabad, and he will be giving class next day morning. I make it a point to attend that class, and it was a memorable class. Some shlok in the Bhagavatam, I don't remember the shlok, but the purport, Prabhupada writes there that a brahmachari should avoid seeing the face of a lady or woman. And then after briefly describing the four ashrams, Maharaj told us how he got the sannyas initiation. It was a mystery revealed to us that day. He told that after his first and couple of months after his first and second initiation, Prabhupada once asked him, "Are you attracted to women and sex life?" And my reply was no. And then he asked, will you be able to keep your vows of sannyas throughout your life? And I was very emphatic that, yes, Prabhupada, I will be. And it was his sincerity and tremendous Prabhupada in him, that he was given initiation, sannyas initiation, a few months later. And even when, as Radha Maharaj says, some senior devotees were waiting for sannyas for several years. This was the sincerity and the faith that Prabhupada had in him. And he also told one story, which was, he told that he liked it very much, but I don't know whether I should tell the story from Ramayana episode. And it was, since it Bhakti Charu Maharaj liked that story, I should narrate that story. It is a brief story. So he told that once Agast Muni came to Ayodhya after the Lanka war, and the point came that who was the real hero of the Lanka war. And everybody thought that since Ramchandra has killed Ravan and Kumbhakarna, he must be the hero. But he told that no, Lakshman is the hero of that war. So everybody was very surprised. And then he told that Meghnath or Indrajit was unbeatable, undefeatable, because he had the boon that he can be killed only by a person who has not slept for 14 years, who has not seen the face of a woman for 14 years, or who has not eaten for 14 years. So Ramchandra told he after we retired every day in the night, then he must have slept. So he told that I did not sleep, but I just guarded everything because there was a fear of demons everywhere. So I did not sleep for 14 years. Then it was the point that when he was for 14 years with Sitaji and Ramchandraji, he must have seen his face, her face. Then Lakshman told that when after the kidnapping, when we met Sugriv and he told the ornaments to us, I could recognize only the ornament which was worn by Sitaji in his ankles. I could not recognize anything because I did not see anything above the feet. And then it was told that Ramchandra told that I gave you one food every day to eat. So he told that no, I did not eat anything, and they were kept there only. And then he was asked where we have, because it was those foods were touched by the Supreme, they did not deteriorate. So he told that where he kept the fruits from at different places, and Hanumanji went there and collected all the fruits, and it was found that 5 fruits are missing. And then Lakshman told that, Ramchandra told that I remember that I did not give the fruit on the day when Bharat came and informed about the death of Dasharatha Maharaj. I did not give the fruit when Sitaji was kidnapped. And then Lakshman told that you did not give the fruit on the day you were asking for passage from sea, and you were in the meditation, and you did not give the fruit on that day when you were bound by the snake Nagpash sent by me, and you did not give the fruit when I got the hurt by the Shakti and I became conscious. So everybody was actually that it was the Lakshman only who could defeat Meghnath, and if he could not be defeated, they were defeating the war. So this was very story which is told us, and which was first time we heard that story, and he told that this story was dear to my heart. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj was actually a personification of humility and service, so soft spoken, very sweet to talk, and he was just like a powerful magnet. who will come into contact will be attracted to him immediately. And since he was very intimately associated with Prabhupada as his servant, personal servant, and as the General Secretary for India, he had intimate association with him. He actually understood imbibed the mood of Prabhupada. And also, he knew the wish of Prabhupada, what are his desires and what will please him. Therefore, Bhakti Charu Maharaj has molded his life in such a way that his thoughts, his words, his activities, his life, everything is meant for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. So he is an exceptionally best, real Vaishnav, genuine Vaishnav, and we should all try to follow in his footsteps. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Krishna Prabhu to speak. After Radha Krishna Prabhu, Rasik Raman Prabhu, kindly be ready.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, I exactly do not remember how and when he came into our lives. But I know one thing, for an insignificant person like me, the only qualification which I can claim to have for having his association is that I happen to be at the right place at the right time with the right people. Because most of my interactions with Maharaj were in connection to his interactions with His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And the relationship between the two of them was so intimate, which I had the rare opportunity of witnessing firsthand. There were times after we came into the main fold of Iskcon, through the efforts of His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, he developed a special type of a bond, not only with His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, but with the Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Mandir, Iskcon chowpatty. Many have spoken before me about his personal, caring nature. That is the first thought that comes to anyone's mind when we think about Maharaj. How deep he would think. He would actually go into the most minute details. Around the year 2004, I had the opportunity of visiting Ujjain when the new temple was being constructed. Maharaj wanted me to come there. He had a single point agenda. He said, I want to do everything that Radhanath Maharaj does. So you please visit Ujjain regularly, and you please share with us with all that you do at the Chowpatty temple. For this, while the construction of the temple, the design, the planning, the execution, all the other details about our counselor system, every detail he would like to know. He was so close to Radhanath Swami Maharaj that I remember on the day on which the first shot of the Abhay Charan serial was to be taken, he first found whether Maharaj is available, whether Radhanath Swami Maharaj is available on that day or not. Since I was maintaining his calendar in those days, he would ask me, please find out from Maharaj, I will start this only if he can come there. And on a date which was mutually suitable to the two of them, he arranged for the beginning, the first shot of the Abhay Charan series to be taken. His most keen way of going into every detail and taking care of the devotees, we could see when we started the Iskcon Food Relief Foundation, and His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj was the first chairman of this new trust. The depth into which he would go to understand the different activities and the way the trust is operated. It was absolutely embarrassing for me that we had as our trustees His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, His Grace Devikanandan Prabhu. These are all very senior, busy Iskcon leaders. But for this small activity of distributing meals to the children in the schools, Maharaj would go into all the possible depths. And he started a center in Ujjain, a center which became a branch of the Iskcon Food Relief Foundation. That was the only center which had its own land. Because when Maharaj does something, he just does it in a big way. At that time, I remember when the new project of Iskcon Ujjain was coming up, he had a meeting with the chief minister and he demanded 400 acres of land. He said, I want to have a college, I want to have a school, I want to have an IT park, I want to have a hospital. He just could not think small. He would always aim for the rhino. And at the same time, when it came to attending to detail, we happened to mention to him that at our kitchen at Palghar, Iskcon Food Relief Foundation kitchen at Palghar, we have one dedicated floor for the worship of their lordships, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadraji. He was amazed because that was exactly his mood. In Ujjain also, in the kitchen, they had a separate deity room. So he said, I want to come and visit your center. I want to see exactly how you maintain and how you worship the deities there. So we invited him to one Snan Yatra at Palghar. And he came all the way from Ujjain just to attend that 3-hour festival of Snan Yatra in a remote corner of Maharashtra in Palghar. He would just give everything out. He could not withhold anything. And the way he came close to us, he was more like a family member. And when I told him that little Nanda Kumar is going to write a book, Mountain on a Little Finger, he said, please send me the soft copy. I want to read it before you print it. And then I requested him, Maharaj, can you please write a few words which we can print in that book? So he sent me one paragraph. And I was so grateful to him for having sent that. And immediately he calls me up and says, please don't send it to the press. I am not satisfied with what I have written. I want to elaborate on it. Then he sent me a second copy. And I said, Maharaj, this is very good. I will go ahead with it. He said, no, let me think. I will tell you. And then finally, he sent me an email, which I would like to read out. Dear Radha Krishna Prabhu, please accept my best wishes. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Here is the final message. To say that I was amazed to read this book is not enough. As a matter of fact, I did not have words to properly describe how I really felt. How can an 8-year-old boy write like this? Then it occurred to me that Shankaracharya took sannyas at the age of 8, and Yamunacharya also at a very tender age defeated the greatest scholar of that area at that time, named Kolahal. From such examples, it becomes clear that wisdom does not depend on age. True to that consideration, when Yamunacharya was mocked by Kolahal that how could a child like that dare to challenge him, Yamunacharya replied that if age was the criterion for wisdom, then the tree that was standing there for hundreds of years would have been the wisest person. Nevertheless, when we see such brilliance in such young ones, we can't help becoming awestruck. With great delight, I became aware, without a shadow of doubt, that an individual like Nandakumar carries his memories from his previous life, carries his Krishna consciousness from his previous life. Such devotees also do not come from ordinary parentage. I had the good fortune to know Nandakumar's parents, Madhuri Leela Devi and Rishikesh Prabhu, quite intimately, and I have seen that outstanding devotees both of them are. One is indeed fortunate to have such parents and get their guidance to grow up in Krishna consciousness as a pure devotee of Krishna. Young devotees like Nandakumar, look at this, a tall order. He's giving a tall order to Nandakumar. Young devotees like Nandakumar makes me feel confident about the future of our movement. They will definitely take this movement to every town and village all over the world, fulfilling the prediction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the dream of Srila Prabhupada. This, in short, was his goal of life, to fulfill the dream of Srila Prabhupada. And whatever he did, whatever he got connected to, he would somehow connect it to fulfill the dream of Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. After Rasik Raman Prabhu, I'll request Krishna Nam Prabhu to be read.
Hare Krishna. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So as Gaurang Prabhu already mentioned about the GBC college and how this, so I'll just give you a brief background because my interactions with His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj have been with respect to the college. So in October 2014, the GBC passed a resolution that for the succession of Iskcon, a college should be started, and all the GBCs will give nominations of their leaders in their areas who should be trained. So like nominations were coming in hundreds from all the GBCs, And for the first batch, which was to start in March of 2015, we had names of His Holiness Prahladanand Maharaj, His Holiness Dayanand Maharaj, His Holiness Bhaktivigyan Goswami Maharaj, then Tukaram Prabhu, His Grace Gaurang Prabhu. So many senior leaders were there, and the challenge was how to get teachers for these top leaders. So that was, and especially when at a very short notice we had to do this. So at that time, around in December, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj was in Juhu. So Gaurang Prabhu told me, just go and invite Maharaj if he would come for the college. So I went, and Maharaj, and I presented these two manuals which we had. We requested Maharaj to take one online course on Vaishnav Sadachar for leaders and one residential course at GV. So Maharaj said, I'll look into my schedule and get back to you. And he said, I will do whatever I can. I explained the situation, that how, for these leaders, we want you to come and speak. So then after a few weeks, I get a call from the secretary of Maharaj. I got a call from Maharaj himself, and the secretary called me and he said that Maharaj will come. And by the way, he very much liked this manual which you shared. How are you going to give it to the students? I said, we'll take a Xerox, probably from Nisha Xerox, and give it to the student. So he said, no, Maharaj wants it to get it printed. Do you have any reservations? I said, how can I have any problems? We will be very much grateful. And then Maharaj personally sent an email. He said, I was very much impressed with the course handbook, since it is quite voluminous, relevant and important. I was considering to print it as a book. If you all think it is a good idea, I will give it a good try to get it printed in time. Please respond ASAP. So Maharaj not only got it printed from BBT Mayapur, and then personally got it shipped to GV. 200 copies he got printed, and he shipped to GV. And these are the one quality of Maharaj is, as Srila Prabhupada was regal and royal, so Maharaj is also like that. So you can see it's a hardbound, printed in such a short time and with such a good quality. Maharaj got it printed and sent, and then devotees in China printed it in Chinese, Russia printed it in Russian. So this is how Maharaj was so gracious and magnanimous. And not only that, when he came to GV, so I got an opportunity to make a presentation for Maharaj. So Maharaj said that I want these, as Gaurang Prabhu said, these three principles he wanted to speak about. Your love will be shown by how you cooperate, never leave Iskcon, and GBC is the ultimate managing authority. So Maharaj, I was just yesterday hearing this lecture again. It is like a 3-hour session with question and answers. So Maharaj was saying, with such concern and emphasis, he said that these are the 4 most important principles which as a leader he has held very sacred to his heart all through his spiritual life. And he had learned these by being in close proximity with Srila Prabhupada. So in the olden days when you had joint families, and the lady of the house, she would have the secrets, she would know the secrets of the family, and she would know where is the secret key to the treasure box kept. She would not tell anyone. And in her last days, she would be seen spending special time with one of the most trusted, daughter-in-law, and revealing to her all the secrets of the family, revealing to her where is those keys kept. So His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj is definitely one of those very, very trusted servants, those daughter-in-laws of Srila Prabhupada, whom in the last days, Prabhupada revealed these keys to how to keep this Iskcon movement together. As Gaurang Prabhu was also mentioning, he was so much concerned in middle of night, 2 a.m., he's actually making a call, how will this movement be together? So in his, this session, class, Maharaj says that don't consider Iskcon to be a mundane, ordinary organization. And he said, it is Srila Prabhupada's own body. So he said, never leave it, whatever may happen. And he said, Maya and Kali are such powerful enemies. We don't have any standing individually to actually face these. There may be many faults in Iskcon that someone may say it's not enough, traditional. Some may say it is not very relevant or cutting edge. But he said, with whatever faults it is, the strength to say these things, he said, we are getting from Iskcon. So he said it's Srila Prabhupada's own body. And so means I was just reflecting that Arjuna was definitely a great warrior, but after the war, when from the chariot he got down, the chariot was being personally protected by Krishna, and that gave him the strength to actually fight. Otherwise, those arrows, as soon as Krishna got down, it was all, those arrows could have destroyed Arjuna. So I love Iskcon with all thy faults, and I would say I love Iskcon with all my faults, because the faults I'm seeing is actually coming, reflecting from me. So this was Maharaj's very particular emphasis that, and come what may, stay loyal to Iskcon and Srila Prabhupada. And then Maharaj also did the online course recording, and Rudranath Prabhu personally helped coordinate that. So Maharaj did 3 hours of recording, which he must have taken many days actually to go through the whole content and present it, record it. And so that was the commitment he gave. And finally, one more quality which actually endeared my heart to Maharaj was, like after this GBC college session was over, after a few months, Maharaj had come to chowpatty, and he gave the class. And after that, he was leaving, and right there down at the courtyard, Maharaj was leaving. I offered obeisances, and I thought Maharaj must have forgotten about me or the book. And Maharaj saw me, and immediately he had such a beaming smile on his face, and he immediately with his broad hands, he just embraced me with such laughter oozing out from his form, exuding from his form. And he told, Rasik Raman Prabhu, how are you? How is the college going? I was so touched. It was as if being engulfed by those waves of affection. Like I remember any time, if you just look at Maharaj, those waves of affection are always emanating as he's smiling, as he's laughing. So that waves of affection, waves of ocean of, he's an ocean of affection, an ocean of mercy, as his book is also named. So he had these 2 qualities. Prabhupada said, no one can cheat me. I am a Calcutta boy, right? With Juhu temple and other things. So similarly, Maharaj had also, Prabhupada entrusted that smartness, legacy with Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, and also the heart of a Bengali mother. So a Calcutta boy and a Bengali mother coming together. So that is the personality of His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. So I'm really grateful to the temple authorities and Gaurang Prabhu for allowing me to serve in some small capacity, by which I could have a glimpse into the wonderful heart and the wonderful qualities of Srila Prabhupada's senior disciples. I'm eternally indebted to Maharaj for recognizing our little services and offering them to Srila Prabhupada and the community of Vaishnavas. So today I pray to Maharaj that I can imbibe these principles and qualities which Maharaj has spoken and given his life for, and that, as Maharaj says, give this one life to Krishna. So with all the blessings of the Vaishnavas and of Maharaj, I would like to, seek all of your blessings. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
His Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you, Rasik Raman Prabhu. Request Krishnam Prabhu to make his offering. After Krishnam Prabhu's offering, we have a short video clip by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, trying to understand the departure of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. After that, we'll have Pushpanjali, Arati and Kirtan.
Feeling of separation that we're all sitting over here today. The last few days have been really intense, because so many memories of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. whose divine association I had the great fortune of getting when I started my service in Mayapur in 2009. So Bhakticharu Swami was the GBC for Mayapur, one of the GBCs. And when I started my service over there, the initial few months were quite challenging because obviously I was an outsider, and we were entrusted with the responsibility of doing an audit in Mayapur. And obviously when you go as an auditor, you're not really looked upon very favorably by the people who are getting audited. So days were challenging. That was not the time when I actually met Bhakticharu Swami, but we finished the audit, and then, subsequently we were appointed as the CFOs, me and Braj Bihari Prabhu from Vrindavan. And then when we started our service, that was a time when both of us decided that we should go to Bhakticharu Swami in order to take his guidance on how to do our service. So basically, the service was to oversee the finances of the entire Mayapur temple. And we knew that it is not going to be easy because of the sheer size and scale at which Mayapur operated. And also because of the fact that Mayapur has been there for the last 40 years. And, we have very senior devotees who are in charge of Mayapur. And we had at that particular point in time almost like 400 brahmacharis. And just like this chowpatty temple, Mayapur is also a brahmachari managed temple. So that again, for us had certain challenges. So we went to Maharaj, and so we asked Maharaj very humbly, Maharaj, can you tell us how to do our service of doing the management in Mayapur? And then Maharaj said, oh, this requires a long discussion. He said, why don't you do one thing? Why don't you come over to my room? And then he gave us a time. And then he said, let us spend some time talking about this. And so on that appointed day and time, we went to meet him. Very warmly, Maharaj greeted us. He embraced us and made us sit and made us feel very comfortable. And then we once again, posed the question, Maharaj, please tell us how to do this service that we have been interested in Mayapur. So Maharaj said, first and foremost, you all have to understand that you cannot manage Mayapur. You are not in any way fit or suitable for managing Mayapur, because Mayapur is managed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu. So that's the first thing that you have to understand. And he said that the way to manage Mayapur is by not management, but by love. So he said, this is based upon my years of interacting with the devotees over here in Mayapur. And he said that these devotees in Mayapur are really very, very special. We have to understand that most of them are actually descendants of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu. These were his words. So he said they have come here to do this service that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has actually given them. And because they are very, very special people, you have to also handle them very, very carefully. And he said, in order to begin doing your service, what you should do is, first and foremost, you become friends with them, right? So forget about the fact that you all are appointed as the CFOs for Mayapur. Just get into a friendship mode with all those brahmacharis. Get to love them, get to care for them. Show that you're really, wanting to help them. So you're not come over here in the role of being a controller, but you have come in the role of being a servant. So once you do that, then he said, you will see how things will manifest here in Mayapur as far as your service is concerned. And we really, were quite taken aback by this instruction. But then we said, Bhakticharu Swami, because we knew that most of the brahmacharis in Mayapur were either disciples of Bhakticharu Swami or they were disciples of Jayapataka Swami. So he knew most of the devotees over there. So then we started in that particular way of reaching out to the brahmacharis and connecting with them and, talking to them and making friendship with them. And along with that, we were slowly trying to understand the Mayapur finances. And you won't believe it, within 6 months from this whole strategy of trying to make friends with the brahmacharis in Mayapur, we found that the devotees started reciprocating in such a wonderful way, because by nature, the devotees in Mayapur, they're very simple. They all come from village backgrounds. They come from, very simple homes, not very highly educated, but they came to Mayapur with the desire to serve. And most of these brahmacharis who are there have been serving Mayapur for 15, 20, 25, 30 years. And to remain as a brahmachari in Mayapur is also not an easy thing, right? There's so much of distractions that is there all over Mayapur. So when we started interacting with them, the first 6 months, we started seeing how they were reciprocating. And, in between, we used to constantly go and take guidance from Bhakticharu Swami. So why I'm narrating to you this entire episode was just to let you know what is the way in which Bhakticharu Swami works, right? So exactly imbibing the mood of Srila Prabhupada, Bhakticharu Swami also understood that the true way to be in Iskcon, in the association of devotees, is to really associate with the devotees in the mood of being a servant, irrespective of what your position may be in Iskcon, right? And he wanted us to understand that, because when we obviously came over there, we were entrusted with a very high responsibility, and Maharaj could understand that, if we were to go in the direction in which we were thinking is the right way, which is basically, setting up systems and all that, then, things would not go the way we wanted. So, and for the next 6 years that we were doing this service in Mayapur, we had absolutely no problem, because the devotees, welcomed us with such loving feelings of sentiments and happiness that they could understand that we have actually come there to help them, and be a part of the Mayapur team. So this is what a Bhakticharu Swami represents in Iskcon, a person who is actually so caring and so loving and so affectionate that just by the way he behaved, by the way he behaves, he transforms people's hearts. And again, we used to attend the GBC meetings, and in the GBC meetings, we could see how Maharaj, he would speak very less, but when he spoke, people would really very, very attentively listen to him, because his words were imbued with the purity and the thought process of a person who brings into the discussion a lot of feelings and emotions of Srila Prabhupada. So this was another quality that we could see in Bhakticharu Swami, that he would really not speak much, but whenever he would speak, people would really listen to him. And then, of course, whenever we would attend the meetings, Maharaj would invariably invite all of us to prasad at his home in Mayapur, and the feeling of warmth and hospitality that Maharaj would extend, to all of us. I mean, some of us, like me, Braj Bihari Prabhu, very insignificant, very lowly. We had big sannyasis, Romavad Swami, Radhanath Swami, who were part of the GBC of Mayapur, and they would be there. But Maharaj made it a point to make everybody feel so comfortable and so welcoming and so caring in his dealings with the Vaishnavas. So we have lost a great friend in Bhakticharu Swami. His relationship with Radhanath Swami is so close and so dear that we could see that there were actually some previous life relationship that actually brought them so closely to each other, and how they would reciprocate with each other, when we would see and we would experience for ourselves the happiness, the true happiness of Krishna consciousness, right? Which makes us feel that this is how, we can actually experience bliss and happiness in Krishna consciousness, by just being, friends with all those who are connected with Srila Prabhupada. And if that is what we are actually setting out to do, then we will achieve, each and every one of us will achieve the purpose for which we are connected to Iskcon, right? For going home back to Godhead, right? Only when we associate with the devotees in the mood in which Bhakticharu Swami would associate with all his God brothers, in a very, very affectionate, caring way, in a very, very loving way. So a lot of lessons Maharaj has left behind for us, a lot of things that we can look forward to in our own journey back home, back to Godhead. And he has left behind all the devotees, his disciples, with whom we can associate. And as we can see, some of the disciples, who expressed their thoughts, They had such close sentiments and relationship. And each of them, actually, Anangamohan Prabhu had such a close and intimate relationship with Bhakticharu Swami. And that was him, When he heard your name, he would never forget your name, right? That was one great quality of Maharaj, right? Every time I would see him afterwards, he would address me by my name, or for that matter, any other devotee. And even a simple brahmachari, and this is what actually is so striking about Maharaj. There was one devotee in Mayapur, his name was Mukundanand Prabhu, and I don't know whether any of us know, he's not a big leader, not a big book distributor, but a very simple, ordinary brahmachari who comes from a very simple village, but has been serving in Mayapur for more than 25 years. And he's a disciple of Bhakticharu Swami. But what was most surprising to us is that when we used to meet Maharaj, invariably Maharaj would bring his name into the discussion and say that, he is the standard that Mayapur should have for all the brahmacharis. A very humble, gentle, and, simple brahmachari. And Maharaj's emphasis was that brahmacharis and grihasthas, why only brahmacharis? Maharaj only wanted to take that as an example. They have to be simple. They have to be humble. They have to be gentle. They don't need to be big managers. They don't need to be big leaders. What is needed is for a devotee to really be within Iskcon and practice his Krishna consciousness in a sincere way is to be a simple devotee, right? That simplicity of heart is what Maharaj would really see in that particular devotee and keep bringing him up as a reference point in our discussions. So then we, I personally started associating with Mukundanand Prabhu just for my purification. And I could see what was it that Bhakticharu Swami was trying to make us understand, how important it is for us to be a simple devotee within Iskcon in order to actually make advancement in our Krishna consciousness. Not that we need to be big leaders, right? That's not the point, right? So that's what Maharaj was trying to address to us right from the beginning, in terms of making us understand what way we should be handling our service. So there's so much that I could say. I mean, we are running short of time, but I'm really very, very fortunate to have had a lot of association. I would say much more than I deserve, right? In fact, when you would go to meet Maharaj and then ask Maharaj, how are you? How's your health? The first thing he would say is much better than I deserve, right? So that is one thing that I learned from him. So whenever devotees would ask me, how are you, Prabhu? I would say much better than I deserve, because Maharaj, when he said it, he meant it, right? Because he was so grateful to be having this opportunity to serve devotees, having a good, healthy body, by which he could serve devotees. And even towards his concluding pastimes, you could see that he was following exactly in the mood of Srila Prabhupada, right? Srila Prabhupada, when he was so emaciated and he was so sick, he wanted to go to London in order to, do his service to the devotees over there. And similarly, Bhakticharu Swami, right in the middle of this coronavirus, right, which would be a time when none of us would ever want to think about going to America, right? Srila Prabhupada on the 6th or the 5th of June decided to go to America to be there with the devotees, right? And he left his body in such an amazing way, doing his service to Srila Prabhupada. Not like what we, at least not, I would say for myself, where towards the end of my life, I would be thinking that I just want to have a lot of peace and settle down in a very quiet community where I can just chant my rounds or maybe do some daily worship. No, following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, Bhakticharu Swami taught us that we have to go from this material world fighting, right? Till the end of our life, we have to be doing our services. And 43 years as a sannyasi, yes, Bhakticharu Swami has demonstrated this particular quality of fighting right up to the end. So once again, I'm really fortunate to have had his wonderful association. And I pray at his lotus feet that he should continue to shower his mercy upon me and somehow or the other keep me in the association of devotees. Try to be simple. The way Bhakticharu Swami would emphasize to me that simplicity is the hallmark of a Vaishnava, right? Try to imbibe that particular quality that Bhakticharu Swami has been trying to teach me of being a simple, humble Vaishnava. And that's the fervent prayer that I make at his lotus feet on this very, very auspicious day. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Krishnam Prabhu. Now the last few words from His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. How to understand the departure of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. After that there is Kirtan, Arati.
Today is a day of great sadness, heartbreak, and separation from a truly compassionate, merciful, illustrious Vaishnav, His Holiness Srila Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. We are together sharing one another's feelings of deep grief in separation. And Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, we know he's just enthusiastic, ready, and eager to be anything that Srila Prabhupada wants him to be at this moment and forever. When Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj was there with Srila Prabhupada in the last weeks, it was Srila Prabhupada's pastime to wish to do the Govardhan Parikrama. And Bhakticharu Maharaj, in his total surrender with love for Srila Prabhupada, was a part of that pastime. So everything is so divinely orchestrated by Srimati Radharani, by Sri Madhava, and by Srila Prabhupada. I humbly, sincerely appeal to all of Srila Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj's disciples, followers, and I include myself as a follower of Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, that please know for sure that Srila Prabhupada called for him. Srila Prabhupada called for him, and Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj responded. And there was nothing and no one that could come between them. It was a divine arrangement that he come to America. And Srila Prabhupada called him, and Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, who loves all of us more than we can ever understand what love is, he responded to Srila Prabhupada's call. Krishna gave us a chance before Maharaj departed from this world to really appreciate within our hearts how much he means to us, through our intense prayers, through our feelings of hopelessness, through our feelings of helplessness, taking shelter of his mercy, and through his mercy, the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the Panchatattva. So yes, I do believe that Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj was called by Srila Prabhupada, and external circumstances, there's no reason to really try to figure those things out. His departure is perfect. So yes, I do believe that Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj was called by Srila Prabhupada, and external circumstances, there's no reason to really try to figure those things out. His departure is perfect. The external circumstances are details. A person who has surrendered his life, his soul, to the service of Guru in compassion to others, we know that the whole parampara is with that person. That Sri Radha Madhava was present at that time. And actually, maybe not on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, there are tens and thousands of devotees who were around his bedsides in heart, praying and chanting and crying in love for him. He was not alone. Bhakticharu Swami is with us. And he's bringing us all to Srila Prabhupada, which is the only wish of his life, to bring us closer to Srila Prabhupada, and in doing so, to bring us closer to each other. Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj very much emphasized the family of Iskcon, the family of Srila Prabhupada's movement. And it's times like this when taking his instruction very much to heart is so important, because in times of crisis, a family really needs to come together. I'm very speechless and feel very helpless at this time. Still, I feel Maharaj's presence. I feel and I see and I experience his smile, his glance of affection, and that is empowering me, and it can empower all of us to move forward in Srila Prabhupada's service. Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj Ki Jai.
His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. We request Radha Gopinath Prabhu kindly come and do our. So as Arati starts, we'll be singing Jaya Anilo Premadhana, and after that we'll have Hare Krishna Kirtan.
করুণা প্রচুর হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর যে আনিল প্রেম ধনা করুণা প্রচুর
হেন প্রভু কথা কেলা আশ্চর্য ঠাকুর। আহামুর স্বরূপ রূপ আহা সনাতন। কাহা দাস রঘুনাথ পতিত পাবন। কাহা মুর ভক্ত যুগ কাহা কবীরা। কালে কথা গেলা তোর নটরা। আসানে কুতিব মাথা মনলে পশিব। গৌরাঙ্গের গুণ নিধি কোথা গেলে পাব। শেষ সব শেষ সব সে প্রভু সঙ্গীরা সঙ্গে যে কইল বিলা। সে সে সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কান্দে নরুত্তম দাস। সে সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কান্দে নরুত্তম দাস। যে আনিল প্রেম ধন করুণা প্রসূত। হেন প্রভু কথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Anitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai
जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र षट् श्रीमद श्रील भक्तिचारु स्वामी महाराज की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र षट् श्रीमद श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण को गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी की जय तुलसी महारानी की जय कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय
Srila Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj Tirobhav Mahotsav ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Glory to Shri Gauranga.